Hello and howdy once again. Welcome once more to Uncle Jeff's classroom. For those who are joining us for the first time, I'm Uncle Jeff, the teacher they just can't forget. And I'll be piloting this ship along the journey of learning English with you. It is always vitally important to be able to understand the components of extended writing. One must be able to both comprehend and explain the meaning of what is written. To solidify this area, we will today focus on what is called comprehension. Of course, it's the focus of Uncle Jeff's classroom to promote the best possible way of developing understanding and expressing oneself. This lesson can be used as an avenue to take your level of written and spoken comprehension to a higher level. Let's begin with our usual short 4-item quiz that we'll get back to at the end of the lesson. Get your pencil and paper and let's get started. Now here we go. Read the following short passage and answer the questions that come afterwards. Initially, my best friends Ralph and Rob were an athlete and a leader, respectively. Eventually, the former joined the private sector and the latter, like his elder brother, joined the public sector. Now, here are your questions. Which of the writer's friends was an athlete? 2, which of the writer's friends joined the private sector? 3, from what point of view is the passage written? And 4, identify one simile given in the passage. Well, let's move on with our lesson on comprehension, with the understanding that we'll get back to those questions at the end of the lesson. There are 4 different types of passages used for comprehension. They're the narrative, that tells a story, the descriptive, that paints a picture of an object, a person, or a period of time, the expository, that explains an action or a process, and the argumentative, that seeks, well, we also use the word persuasive, either argumentative or persuasive, that seeks to convince others of a position. In each of these passages, there are specific components to be noted and understood. It is important to know the characters, or the main people or things featured in the passage, the theme or the main idea that identify the things the characters do or say. This must also be noted. These actions always take place at a particular time and place. There are only 2 points of view in which writing is done. The first person, in which the writer is also a character in the story, and the third person, or what is called the omniscient, in which the writer is not the character in the story. In the third person, the words I, me, we, and us, and my are only used in direct speech. All meaning is found in the words used in the passage to describe the characters or to explain the writer's feelings towards them. These are called the vocabulary of the passage, the meaning of which can be developed through much reading and regularly checking the dictionary to verify specific meanings. The answers, this is important in answering your questions. The answers to questions must be written in complete sentences. They must contain a subject and a verb. The answers must also begin with a capital letter. There must be agreement between the subject and verb. You're always marking this. This is your grammar that you must always be cognizant of. Singular subject must carry singular verb. A plural subject must carry a plural verb. It is also important to have the correct spelling of all words. There are specific link words that should also be known and be recognized and understood. Eventually speaks about action that occurs after a period of time. Consequently speaks about action that is a result of an earlier action. Initially means in the beginning. Respectively, and this is one that people make lots of mistakes over, respectively connects different actions or things in a specific order. The first with the first and the second with the second, always. Like, here's an example. Michael and John are 6 and 8 years respectively. This means that Michael is 6 and John is 8. Don't confuse them. Former identifies the action that comes first, and latter identifies the action that comes last. Alternate or alternate speaks about actions that interchange each other in a series. Alternative speaks about a choice between different options. There are certain figures of speech that must also be understood. Simile, this makes a comparison and always uses the words as or like. Metaphor makes a comparison by giving one object the qualities of another. Now let's get back to the quiz we gave at the beginning. These should be your correct answers. If you have them all, give yourself the usual tap on the shoulder. Your answers should be, which of the writer's friends was an athlete? The friend who was an athlete was Raf. Which of the writer's friends joined the private sector? The writer's friend who joined the private sector was Raf. From what point of view is the passage written? The passage is written from the first person point of view because the character and the writer, all in the story. Identify one simile given the passage. One simile given the passage is like his elder brother. That's like his other brother comparison. I hope this lesson was helpful to you, and I look forward to sharing many more with you. To ensure this, please click on the subscribe button so as to keep the lessons coming. I thank you and say goodbye for now from Uncle Jeff to you who spent the time here at Uncle Jeff's classroom. Goodbye for now.